It is my pleasure to ask all of you to please give a great Charlottetown welcome to the leader of the Green Party of Canada, Annamie Paul.
Oh, wow. Hello, P.E.I. It's been so wonderful to be here for the last 24 hours. I want to acknowledge that I'm here on the traditional lands of the Mi'kmaq, and I want you all, those of you who are out there, to give the warmest of welcomes and hellos to your candidates for the Green Party in the 2021 election. Your green MLAs, want to wave your hands? I think we have, there you go. There you go. And we also have candidates from Nova Scotia and New Brunswick with us. The Atlantic is out, the Maritimes is out in full effect today. So just very briefly, I wanted to first say thank you so much for the warm welcome. I've had the tremendous pleasure, and it is a pleasure. No one ever needs an excuse to come out to P.E.I. Of being here a couple of times. We tried so hard to get out here over the last number of months. We were going to quarantine here, again, no hardship at all, to quarantine in P.E.I. so that we could spend a couple of weeks here, and then the bubble burst and so on. It's been such a difficult time for so many people, but you are near and dear to us, and certainly there is so much green power in this province, so many good things that are powered by Greens, that I certainly am so excited to be here and to hear about it and to see it in action. And so just a couple of very quick reflections, mostly in English, but a couple of things in French. One of my reflections is that, and I was just chatting about this with Peter, who is Darcy here? Darcy's partner. Darcy, your candidate for Charlottetown. And I was just telling him how extraordinary, how amazed I was at how much had been accomplished in the couple of years that Greens had been in mission. I met with the Premier this morning. It was a very nice meeting. We talked about all of the things that had been done, in cooperation, through collaboration. There is nowhere else in the country that an opposition party could have 14 pieces of legislation get through. I mean, I assure you, 14. Climate Leadership Act, the Poverty Elimination Strategy Act, these are groundbreaking pieces of legislation that are done when people across party lines are willing to come together and to cooperate and collaborate on behalf of people. We are here to be of service. And when we remember that, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish as the people of P.E.I. and the people of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and every province in this country. We have that in us. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on demande? On demande que la culture change. On demande que les partis, surtout pour les grands enjeux comme le climat, comme notre filet social, qu'on décide finalement que nous allons travailler ensemble parce qu'on reconnaît que nous sommes pas réclament et insistent qu'on travaille ensemble parce que nous sommes là pour travailler pour eux, pas pour nous-mêmes. Et le P.E.I. est un exemple extraordinaire de ce qu'on peut accomplir ensemble si on travaille ensemble. The other thing that has struck me and that we've been talking about yesterday and today and throughout the election, and that is a concern, but I have to say again, when I come to P.E.I, I still have hope about, is our ability to really have learned the lessons from this pandemic, to really have learned how we can do things better, how we can better protect people, how we can take the spirit of cooperation that we had at certain moments and take it to tackle the other big challenges that we have, like the climate. The climate is not going to solve itself. It is not going to solve itself if we don't work together. It is as much of an issue that requires cross-partisan cooperation and collaboration as the pandemic did. If we can do that, if we can pivot and marshal the resources that we did and work across levels of government in order to tackle the pandemic and to defeat it, and we will defeat it, then certainly we can bring that to the other big challenge of our time, which is the climate emergency. I believe that we can do it, and every single green that you send to Ottawa, you know you have the proof, is going to be someone that is willing to work hand in hand with every single party for as long as it takes in that spirit of cooperation to get it finally done. And that is all that is left, is to get it done. Now, P.E.I. is, we're going to be studying P.E.I. for generations. Someone right now is submitting a thesis topic on how P.E.I. managed to avoid the fate of the whole rest of Canada in terms of the pandemic. I mean, you deserve such a big round of applause for the work that you've done to protect each other. I don't believe there's been one death in P.E.I. from COVID. Yes, exactly. Knock on wood. That is an outstanding achievement, and we have so much to learn from that. But for those of us in the rest of the country, myself, I come from Ontario, where we have lost thousands of people, and in many cases unnecessarily. We have lost over 15,000 people in our long-term care facilities across the country, and not because they were aged, not because they were disabled and it was their time. They died because of the things that we have not done for many, many years in our long-term care system. We cannot forget them. We cannot forget all of the people who were thrown into financial crisis the moment the pandemic hit and they lost their jobs because our social safety net was not strong enough to hold them up. We cannot forget all of the hard-fought lessons of this pandemic, and we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the legacy of those people. We owe it to what comes next to ensure that we do the work to ensure that every single person in Canada can live a life of dignity from their first day to the last day. And it is entirely possible. There is simply nothing that another country can do to protect its citizens that we can't do to protect ours. And so this is the moment, this is the time of reckoning. And I would say to all of you that it really is up to you. C'est vraiment votre choix. Si on veut avoir un meilleur avenir, si on veut assurer une vie digne pour chaque personne au Canada, il faut élire des députés qui veulent travailler ensemble pour le faire. Parce que nous avons perdu des milliers de personnes ici au Canada pendant la pandémie. Il y a des leçons, il faut les mettre en œuvre, il faut les mettre en marche, et au final, c'est à vous de décider. Yeah. So I would just say that again, speaking with Premier King, we talked about how much we've learned about working remotely, how many people have not only learned how to do it, but learned that they like it. And we talked about the difference it could make to P.E.I. in terms of attracting people to the province who are maybe their work is with colleagues across the country, but they can do it here now. We talked about all of the young people that I met at the University of Prince Edward Island who are studying nursing or engineering, and they come from Mauritius, and they come from the Bahamas, and they come from Kenya, and they love P.E.I. and they want to stay in P.E.I. This is the time for us to figure out at every level of government, how do we make it possible for those people to stay? How do we make it possible for people to work remotely, for instance? When the heck are we going to get that broadband? I mean, I'm telling you, I just go out there tomorrow with my son and my two sons and a couple of shovels and start digging those broadband trenches myself, you know? I mean, it's time's up. So this is the moment that we have. We've learned a lot. Let's put those lessons in place. Let's take and bottle, you know, like lightning in a jar, the spirit of P.E.I, that can-do spirit that has accomplished so much over the last couple of years. Let's take it to Ottawa in the form of Anna and Darcy and Michael and Alex and get the work done. And that's all that's left, to get the work done. It's an honor to be here with you. C'est un honneur d'être ici avec vous. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you for welcoming our candidates here. We love P.E.I. We love the Atlantic, and I wish you the very, very best in this election, which none of us wanted, but here we are. I ask you to think about what your vote means and what it could do for your community and communities across Canada. You have been daring. You have shown the way. You have shown what Greens can do. You've given us that opportunity to prove our worth. And I hope you'll give us the opportunity to keep proving our worth after September 20th with some brand new Green MPs. Thank you.
Thank you, Madame Paul. We'll now go to questions from the ground. Our first question, one follow-up, is from Gabrielle Drummond from Radio-Canada.
Alors, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Alors, ma question, bien évidemment, en français.
Oui.
Alors, comme vous le savez bien, les libéraux sont au pouvoir ici sur le plan national depuis plusieurs années à l'île du Prince-Édouard. Alors, vous, comment votre parti, vous personnellement, vous prévoyez de faire votre place ici à l'île du Prince-Édouard, vu que les libéraux sont déjà là depuis très longtemps?
Oui, bon, ils ont été ici, et les conservateurs aussi, à l'échelle provinciale pour des décennies. Et finalement, les gens ici, sur l'île de Prince-Édouard, ont dit, c'est le moment pour quelque chose de différent. Nous allons oser, nous allons voter pour un parti petit, mais avec des bonnes idées. Nous allons voter pour nos voisins, voisines, qu'on croit vont mettre en œuvre des très bonnes idées et en collaboration avec les autres partis. Alors ici, sur l'île de Prince-Édouard, on a la preuve de l'effet d'élire les Verts. Alors moi, je dis que si on veut voir plus de ça, on veut voir ça sur l'échelle fédérale, il faut élire des Verts. Il faut élire des Verts parce qu'on sait que ça va être un député qui travaille pour leur communauté, mais aussi dans une manière coopérative pour atteindre des objectifs nationaux et même internationaux. Alors, je crois que ici, les gens sont convaincus de valeur de nos membres, de nos membres de la législature, et j'espère qu'ils allons le suivre à l'échelle fédérale.
Et une autre chose, c'est que ici, l'île du Prince-Édouard, c'est l'un des premiers endroits que vous visitez à l'extérieur de l'Ontario pendant cette campagne électorale.
Oui.
Alors, pourquoi l'île du Prince-Édouard et qu'est-ce que l'île représente pour vous, justement, dans votre campagne?
L'île du Prince-Édouard, parce que, et j'avoue, ce n'était pas mon idée, mais c'était une excellente idée. On n'a pas eu l'opportunité de rassembler les Verts depuis la pandémie. Ça fait des années que les Verts n'ont pas eu l'opportunité d'être ensemble dans la même place. On n'a pas beaucoup de temps. Il n'y a pas beaucoup de temps avant que l'élection se termine. Alors, si on se rassemblait dans une province, on a la chance ici sur la côte atlantique de n'être pas très loin l'un de l'autre. Alors, nous avons fait l'invitation à les Verts, nos candidats et candidates des autres provinces, de se rassembler ici avec nous. C'est clair que nous avons des excellentes chances ici avec la candidature de nos Dana et de Darcy et les autres. Et comme j'ai dit, nous avons le preuve ici. C'est un excellent endroit pour souligner le fait que nous avons démontré l'importance d'élire les Verts. Alors, le message aujourd'hui, c'est que si vous voulez plus de ça, si vous cherchez plus de coopération, plus de collaboration, coopération, plus d'innovation, c'est le moment d'élire plus de Verts. Et c'est très facile de le souligner ici sur l'île de Prince-Édouard.
Merci, Madame Paul. We will now move to our questions online. Our question from Caroline Roy. Caroline, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, do you hear me?
You have a very smooth sort of radio, very yes.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Oui, oui,
Oui, OK. Bonjour, Madame Paul.
oui.
Caroline Roy-Blais pour Radio-Canada. L'aile québécoise du Parti vert dévoile aujourd'hui sa plateforme sans vous, avec des propositions desquelles là, que vous n'étiez pas d'accord là, par rapport à la loi 96 ou la reconnaissance de la nation québécoise. À une semaine du vote, est-ce que vous considérez ça comme un affront?
Dans notre parti, il y a de la place pour des différences d'opinion. Une de nos valeurs clés, c'est de faire de l'espace pour des différences d'opinion, précisément parce qu'on sait que c'est dans la discussion qu'on va trouver les meilleures idées. Je n'ai jamais eu, je n'ai jamais voulu créer ou participer dans un parti où il n'y a qu'une seule voix, la voix du chef du parti. Moi, j'étais très claire sur, c'est pas uniquement ma position, mais c'est la position de notre parti en tant que chef sur le projet de loi 96 et aussi sur le loi 21. Je n'ai pas eu l'opportunité de lire la présentation des membres du Québec, mais comme j'ai dit, nous avons suffisamment d'espace pour des différences d'opinion. Si vous me demandez, est-ce que j'aurais préféré de ne pas recevoir le nouvelle en cette manière? Absolument. Mais quand même, c'est très important pour nous de créer cet espace parce que nous sommes un parti innovateur et ce n'est pas possible d'avoir l'innovation s'il n'y a pas une variété d'opinions. Is anyone getting that? Sorry. National press conference, so. Okay. Yes, it was great. It was fantastic. Whether you understood it or not is brilliant. I hit it out of the park. Okay. Next question.
Oui, en fait, en suivi... Oh, sorry.
Allez-y.
Oui, donc en suivi, en fait, je me demandais là, comment, par rapport là, aux positions avec lesquelles vous n'étiez pas d'accord, auriez-vous aimé être consulté dans le fond avant que cette plateforme-là sorte?
Oui.
Merci. That concludes our questions from today's press conference. Merci tout le monde. And that concludes our questions from the ground.
Thank you. We love P.E.I. And maybe if the candidates from P.E.I. can just take a step forward so we can, yeah, there we go.
We're missing Alex.
Oh.
He's an entrepreneur.
Okay. All right. So remember from last night, the victory. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Ready? Okay. So again, for those of you who are in the ridings of the candidates who are here, you know them personally, and you certainly know the work that Greens are doing here in P.E.I. They want to carry that work to Ottawa. They want to be your champions there. I know that they can be your champions there. Every Green who has ever been elected provincially or federally has gotten reelected in this country because they work incredibly hard for their communities. They wake up thinking about their communities every day, and they take your values all the way through their work. So this is good value for money. I highly encourage you to check their names on the ballot if you haven't already. And last night we did a little victory thing at our rally, and we're going to recreate it here because that's what we're aiming for in P.E.I. Green victory. So we all ready? So on the count of three, we're going to say victory to head to send our candidates off into this last few days of the election, okay? Ready, guys? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Victory! All right, thanks, everyone.